Internet. Behold in 60 frames per second and 4,000. I don't know. 4,000 doesn't sound as good as 4K, does it? We're in the 4K here today. And we've seen this one before. The Alchemist Heady Focal Banger from the same guys that make Heady Topper. So we're not going to talk about this too much, but... Oh, can you smell that, internet? Here, let me get it close. Take a whiff. Oh, boy, I can smell that all the way from here, and I'm like a good foot away from it, but let me get in close. Oh, that one's really fruity. Oh, it's so good. So much hop. So bitter. It smells really fruity on the nose, and then it hits you with just hot bitter. And it kind of washes. You get it in a couple waves. Yeah, it's delicious. This is their single version, India Pale Ale. And as always, internet, don't be a D-bag. Recycle the can. Recycle your cans, internet. It's not cool to not be green, or it's cool to be green. I guess we don't need the double negative. But what do we got on the top here? Oh, we got my polished Biton. We've got my polished Triton V2. We've got my polished Stubby. We've got the polished Ataraxis. I say not my polish because I didn't polish this. The polished Chakra and the polished Namaste Radiance. Elite, I should say. So we got some stainless steel polish going on here. Clearly the Triton's just going to go and do its thing for a while. But yeah, why do we have some polished spinners out? Well, because I like polished spinners and... Oh, another one of these. Let me tell you who one of the nicest people out in the spinner community is. There's a lot of nice folks out there, so I'm not trying to not shout out other people. But Tom Lynette over at, or Lanette, I'm assuming it's Lynette, L-A-N-E-T, over at the Unquiet Hands group. Look at this. Just puts a nice little thing in there, so I appreciate you. Should we put that somewhere? We don't need the note out there the whole time. We'll keep it on the lid. But let's open it up and take a look at what we got. So he sent me this, asked me if I wanted to send one, me one to review, and I'll be honest, I don't know why I slept on this so long. I probably should have ordered it. I'm kind of in a weird spot where I haven't been ordering a lot of things and haven't been kind of paying attention to too much, but the stuff that Unquiet Hands is doing, either way, he sent me one to review, so really, really appreciate it. This is a great spinner. Oops. All this stuff fell out. So much for presentation. What I was going to say is, though, the presentation, the attention to detail, this is how you know you got something going on. So first of all, we've been here before, internet. Stickers. 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 Yeehaw. Let's pop that over here. And then, of course, the card of authenticity. I've talked about this before. We'll talk about it again if this is your first view of an Unquiet Hands thing. But it's this nice quality cardstock. Feels nice. Stainless steel, R188 bearing. Oh, you know what I didn't look up? It comes with two bearings, and I'm pretty sure one of them is hybrid ceramic, and I meant to try to look that up beforehand, and I did not, but we'll talk about the bearing anyway, either way, assuming it's a hybrid ceramic. Well, anyway, it's nice. April 4/20, done on April 20th. All right, batch one of the arcade, little holographic little logo. Sweet, signed by Tom. Good guy, Tom. We love Tom. Tom's a good guy. Tom runs, I don't want to say it. I don't know the way to say this without it sounding like, I don't want it to come off weird or anything like that, but it sounds like Tom is like sort of like the international or Chinese or Taiwan version of Wusaw. Like, he's just got a great community, a great attitude, great outlook on things, super positive guy. So like what they're doing over there, and they just seem like that same sort of, you kind of get in the family when you get some of this Unquiet Hands stuff. So let's take a look at this. Now, this is a really high quality little microfiber suede cloth. Let me show you what I like about this. When you open it up, this is in there with this logo showing, right? So that's certainly not an accident. Let's open this up. Look at the way it's folded. That's not an accident. It's silly little stuff like that. You could take just a little piece and wad it in there, but no, that's done nice. So we're actually going to use that on the spinner. Now, when I got the spinner, oh, it also comes with one of these things. Let's line these up right here now that we got two. This is the design, their new design. It's actually nice. It's pretty thick, so if you have really thin ones, bearing retention things, this might not work, but it gives you plenty of purchase. It's good. It's got a nice little texture to it. Their logo lasered on there, a little hole if you wanted to put a little string on it or something. Comes with two sets of buttons. These are the Canopy Buttons. Comes with an extra bearing. So the bearing that's in there is very reminiscent of an SBV2. It's got that same nylon retainer and nylon ring. And then stainless steel, almost like a chrome plated kind of balls. So I don't know if that's what lends itself to the smoothness, but this is the one that comes in it, at least for me, and I think all the other ones I've gotten, it comes in it like that. So we'll set that aside. Let's keep our goodies out. Let's not hide them. Let's keep the goodies out. Lay them up on the edge of the frame here. All right, move you in just a little bit. Certificate of authenticity, we can take it out of this plastic. Yeah, we'll take it out. Something like this. So we know what we're talking about. Look at that, we got kind of like a setup here. It's almost like professional. And then we've got the spinner. Now the spinner came, it had a brushed finish on it. And if you know anything about me, internet, you know I like polished. I'm not a huge fan of brushed finishes, but I like polishing them myself. So, but it does, I've been fidgeting with it and playing with it. So, and it's not the best polish I've done. It feels really good. You can't feel the little imperfections, but it's not really quite like a full mirror in certain parts. So along these sides and these corners, you know, you can see some of the brush marks left over. Not much. You can see it a little bit more here. It still feels super smooth. Like I can't feel that. And I guess it's close to a mirror because we get a good reflection of my fingers there. I've been working outside the last couple of days, so hopefully my fingers aren't in too bad a shape. But yeah, so we got the Canopy Buttons. Canopy Buttons. Look at that. Now I didn't touch these buttons. That's just the finish they come with, which is nice. This gives a little extra grip if you like that grip. And then the cupolas, or cupolas, but I think it's pronounced cupola. I just like the feeling of like a wider, deeper dish. You've heard me talk about the deep dish, internet. So really, really gorgeous spinner. So since Tom sent it to me to review, I asked if he mind if I polished it up first. And he said, no, not at all. Now, a lot of times, especially if I'm given a spinner to review, I want to show it to you in the condition that it is, that you're going to get it in, you know, to kind of be, you know, nice to the makers. I don't want to like take something and then like just change it from what it's actually going to be. But the good news, internet, they offer a mirrored polished version. So, woo! We got our matching Carver's Customs. Look at this. Carver's Customs, y'all. You guys know about Carver's Customs. If not, you find them on Facebook. They make excellent little pouches. Look at this setup we got going on. Feels legit. Let's take this. Let's fill the frame with lots of eye candy. Lots of stuff for you guys to look at. So go ahead. Look around the frame. Look at whatever you want. Take in whatever you want while I have a sip of beer. Should we spin this one again, the Triton? So if I remember to, internet, I'm going to try and test the bearing that's in this, in my Ohana. Why would you test that bearing in the Ohana? Well, the bearing that came in it, there's two bearings. If you guys heard me talk about the Fidget, not the Fidget, FZ Essentials bearings. I always want to say that because it's FZ Essentials and FHQ, so I just get confused sometimes, forgive me. But FHQ also makes some really good bearings. I think they just got their full ceramics back in stock as well, so definitely check that out if you're into the full ceramic thing. It's worth having some full ceramics on hand. I like a bearing with a little bit more feedback, I guess is where I was going. So the bearing, ooh, what was that? The bearing that comes in this is, again, it's that smooth one. So I switched it out, gave it a spin. It felt like it spun pretty good. Table spin, got about 3 minutes and 16 seconds. I shouldn't say about, got 3 minutes and 16 seconds on it. Which is, I mean, it's not an amazing spin time, but it's, you know, for something that gets a little bit of feedback and stuff like that, it's not ridiculous. But, you know, I was like, I want to clean this out. I had a hunch. I had a feeling, internet. So I cleaned it out. Do you know what the spin time was I got on this? On a table spin. So these were two-handed table spins, like that. Guess, internet. I'll go ahead and let you guess. I'll give you a few more seconds to guess. Well, if you take a look at the timeline in the bottom of this video, as long as I have it edited, it got this much time. That right there. 9 minutes and 6 seconds. Ridiculous! 9 minutes and 6 seconds in a bar that does not have its weight forced outside. It's got a very slight taper down. I guess let's take the time to look at the shape and design of this here. You've got these nice little flats on top, but just like the atrium here, we've got very slight downward, whatever you want to call it, although it might be a little more acute on the atrium. So I think I said that this is the arcade. If I didn't, it's very clearly written there that this is the arcade. Original design by Unquiet hands. But yeah, so it's got, you know, it has more weight towards the center. So it's not like it's forcing its weight on the outside. That's some amazing spin time. So I'm going to test this bearing in the Ohana. And if I remember to test it before I upload the video, we'll have the time right along here. Maybe it'll do that little pop-up thing and we'll go, let's try it again. There we go. So if we test it in the Ohana, we'll have the spin time there. I'm going to commit to doing that, Internet. I'm going to say I'm going to test the spin time in that, so it'll be there, because I think that will be fun. So yeah, so about the design of this guy. So what was really cool is this spinner came out, I don't want to say like out of nowhere. I mean, they dropped some photos, they had some good photos and good shots and stuff of this guy before it came out. And it just has one of those designs that you look at and it was like, yeah, that looks like that'll work. That looks like that'll work real nice. And I should say right now, in here we got the full ceramic. Full I think it's the, well, I'm not going to take it out. I'm pretty sure it's the one with oh no, it's not the full ceramic. It's the FC, anyway, it doesn't matter. HCZ. But anyway, so the design is one of those designs that looks like it's just going to work. So a lot of times it's nice to be surprised by a spinner. Like you get a spinner in your hand and you're like, oh, I'm surprised by how that feels. But sometimes it's nice not to be surprised. When you look at this spinner and you look at what it looks like, it fidgets exactly like it looks like it would, which is amazing. It just looks like it's got that design that's going to work and it's going to function. So I want to talk about the curves and the shape of this a little bit, because they actually put a couple designs out. He put out 3 different designs of this. Let's weigh this too before I forget. So the Atrium, which was weighing in at 87 grams. The Arcade is going to come in at 82 grams. So it's actually pretty closer in mass than I thought. So good job keeping them kind of similar. So when they came out with this, they put out a couple different designs and had people vote on it. What I like about this is it's not just a bar version of this. I mean, it is, but there's some subtleties and some things that they changed to make it work. So if you look here, this is essentially one plane, one sort of little circle coming in here, right? Look at the way the light reflects off of that. You essentially just got one little scoop, and then you got your side scoop, and then you've got your curve here, and you've got your flat. What they did on this guy is, first of all, it's a bigger scoop, so it's not like it's the same size scoop. You've got a bit bigger of an angle of a face here. Not a ton, but the way it swoops out. But look at this. Look at what happens on this curve here. Watch the light. Mind the fingerprints. You get this little secondary thing right there. See it? Right here. Which is one really cool to look at, like the reflection in the light. It does some cool stuff. So it's almost flat there, like a secondary face, and then you get into the curve. Like, it's just a subtle little thing that would have been probably easier just to be like, whoop, but it works. It gives you a little bit of a flat there, a little bit of a grip on these sides. In all honesty, maybe fidgeting with it, if it was exactly like this, wouldn't feel tremendously different. But the reality is there was a little more work, a little more attention to detail, and I appreciate that. The light reflection on this, especially the polished version, honestly, or obviously, or both, is fantastic. It really likes to dance and play with the light. But fidgeting wise, how's it fidget? So especially with it polished, again, that's how I knew I would like it. So that's why I wanted to get it in my hands that way, especially since they offer it that way, is phenomenal. This is an off the chain spinner. I can get my finger really wherever I catch it, wherever I grab it, I can spin it. Especially like as it's starting to warm up and your fingers get just a little bit of that grip on that polished surface, it just grabs. So because of the way it tapers down, it feels like I can get a little more pull on there. The edges are super nice and round. Keep bumping the camera. Let's look at those rounded edges. Ooh, like water, like glass. You get it at the right angle in the light and you can't see my imperfections from polishing and sanding. Look at that. Look at that with the internet. So that's just where it's at. But pulling it, flicking it, pulling it, flicking it, two-handed pulls, whatever spin you want to do. You want to get the, see if we can get some awkward fidgeting going. Left-handed fidgeting. It's funny, sometimes my left feels a little more comfortable and a little better, and other times it's my right that feels a little better. But whichever way you want to fidget, internet, it's going to be good for you. I don't know what we call this. This, I guess, is the 2-4P. That numbering convention never really took off that I talked about. That's all right. But yeah, it just feels nice. It's comfortable in the hand. It's a good one to have. So this is one not to sleep on, internet. I don't have really a ton of negative things to say about it. I think for what it is and the way it's designed and the way it came out, as long as you get the finish that you like, I think you're going to love it. I think for the price, especially for the quality, the attention to detail that we're getting here, that sort of stuff isn't cheap. Those little extra attention to details, those little extra things, that starts adding up. That starts adding up to the cost. So, you know, to see this so this comes in at $58 in the stainless steel. Or $63 if you want it with a deep stone wash, or if you want it with a mirror finish. So it's an extra $5 to get the mirror finish. Absolutely worth it unless you want to do it yourself. But I think the mirror finish is where it's at. But a stone wash is nice, and some people really like that stone wash. So Tom's got this really nice vibratory tumbler. And that finish comes out nice. So I should say as well, I'm not 100% sure how much and what's in stock. I'm pretty sure these are. He's going to be doing titanium in them. I think that's all he has in these in the arcade right now. Check out the website if you're interested. They've done, at least in this, they've done copper, they've done brass, they've done white brass, they've done tungsten. And they did the early runs in titanium, but he's doing another pre-order for the atrium starting on this Friday, the May 11th. So I should have this uploaded well before then, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can get these in the regular finish, the mirror finish, the stone wash finish, in both the stainless steel and the titanium. And they offer them without the trits. So the ones that were sent to me, Tom's like, can I send you something? And he doesn't even tell me exactly what it is. I say sure, and then it shows up, and it's exciting for me because I don't know exactly what's in there. But they sell them with the tritium slots or without, like the slotless. I personally prefer the look of the slotless. But if you're going to put tritium in there, or, you know, those little day glow wires, or glow epoxy or something like that, like, this is obviously good to go for that sort of a thing. So you can get them with or without the tritium slots. It looks like he's looking into potentially making an XL version as well, which is a little bigger and then has 2 slots in the faces. And then he was kind of like, does he do them 2 side by side, or 2 side by side, or kind of staggered at an angle? So I think he was looking for some feedback from the community. So definitely join their Facebook group as well, guys. They're ones to, you know, they're good people to follow and be a part of and join and see what they're doing. So and they're really good spinners. Like, they're fantastic. So some of my favorites. I've actually been really enjoying this a lot. Since this came in, I kind of got this back out. I was like, man, this is so good. And then, hey, Aaron Carroll, matching sets. Congrats as well. If you guys don't know, Aaron Carroll does the weekly spin, I think is what they're calling it. It's a live stream on Facebook, but they upload the videos to YouTube, so go and check that out. But he also was just celebrating a 1 year since his lung transplant. So he's a trooper, he's a champion. So congrats to him, and we wish him obviously all the best over there. But yeah, matching sets. So the arcade, and look, I mean, come on, look at the graphic design, I love everything about it. Can we endorse this? 2 awkward thumbs, way up. This is a win in my book. So what's interesting is you guys know I'm a bar guy. I'm not 100% sure which one I like more, and that's not a testament to saying like this isn't a great bar. It's just how good this try is, to be honest. But yeah, I just love that little bit of feedback, a little bit of feeling you get. Before we forget as well. Oh, look at that balance. That's moving real slow. So the real balance test, I mean, you can look at this and see if it moves a little bit, but the real balance test is this right here. Put it on one finger and just feel how it feels. Dead smooth. That's the real balance test, internet. So if you pick up your spinner and you're doing this, like I might have talked about this a little bit. If you pick up your spinner and it doesn't hold perfectly still, that doesn't really matter too much. Almost every spinner is going to have at least, especially with a bearing this clean, running this well. This bearing, if you remember, I just said got 9 minutes and 6 seconds. So it's a really clean bearing that wants to move at really low speeds. So it's going to be almost impossible to get that to sit perfectly still. So if we do this, you take an old dirty junk bearing and this thing probably wouldn't move. It wouldn't have enough weight and balance to move a bearing that wasn't super smooth. But my hand's shaking a little bit like that. It's like a dead smooth bearing. So I think that's all we really want to say. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed. We just love the work they're doing over there, and we're really happy with the quality that comes out of the Unquiet Hands studio. So there you have it, internet. The Arcade by Unquiet Hands. Good old Tom. Oops. Maybe we'll do a fade out like this. We'll go kisses, internet. Oh, I'm going to hit my phone at that angle. Kisses.